Hey Chris, how are you?
Hi, Thomas. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, thanks. Um, if you don't mind, could you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do at SMFA at Tufts?
My name is Chris Maliga. I'm the studio manager for photography. I'm part of a team of about a dozen or so studio managers that we're on campus every day of the week. Each one of us specializes in a different medium, and we um, we oversee the various specialized facilities at the school. So um, I supervise the analog and digital photography areas, and that includes several fleets of circulating cameras, anything from 35 millimeter to medium format film, large format, and a whole range of digital SLR and mirrorless cameras. Um, I also supervise our circulating lighting equipment, um, and I oversee facilities such as the two digital printing labs, our color film processing service, which we have in-house, our scanning facilities, and our darkroom facilities. We have two gang facilities and a alternative processes darkroom. And we also have um, we have a dedicated lighting studio on campus on the third floor for doing studio production.
And can you tell us a little bit about how a photo area is different inside of an interdisciplinary art school like SMFA at Tufts?
The main benefit to working in an interdisciplinary environment is that it gives you an opportunity to interact with other media. Like you can still focus on being a photographer, for example, but if you're like me and you're highly influenced by painting or another media, you have a chance to take to kind of overlap your studio practice between those two media and work with faculty from both departments. And I've found with our students, there's been a lot of interest in experimenting and finding ways of looking at the photograph in different forms, and maybe as part of different objects, whether that be combining it with something like drawing or painting or collage, or even thinking of it as something like a 3D object, and incorporating into a sculpture or incorporating sculpture into your photography. There's just a lot of room for collaboration and thinking outside the box with the media.
Are there some student projects that stand out to you?
One that sticks out is a graduate student we had a few years ago, Hannah Bates, who she sometimes worked um, in a fairly traditional style with her photography, but she, because she was very open to experimenting, she worked. She had a couple different projects. One worked with manufactured backdrops and printing on a very massive scale, which we're well equipped to do in our studios. And another project she did, which was very unique, was printing out these actual like car wraps that adhered to vehicles that might have been in fine condition, but then the wraps actually, it was like a printout of a damaged car on top of that. So it was using photography to alter physical objects. And I think in general, um, our students have a pretty eclectic range of interests. Some of them work in very traditional styles or with very traditional materials, but they use those styles and materials to address important contemporary social issues. Our students seem to have a lot of interest in things like gender, class issues, etc. And I think, yeah, I think it's also exciting to see students just working with the whole range of photographic media that we have available. I teach a cyanotype workshop as part of orientation for new students. So that's usually their first introduction, and students are really really into working with alternative processes right now. And Yeah, we try to give them all the tools that they can to um, experiment as much as possible. And it seems like they try to take full advantage of that during their time here.
Chris, would you also mind telling us a little bit about your own practice?
As I said earlier, I'm strongly influenced by painting. My work also deals a lot with identity, gender, and LGBTQ issues, as well as mental health advocacy. My work, it's all done in a very traditional style. I work with a large format, 8x10 camera, shooting on black and white film. Um, and it's all printed through the darkroom. So I very much enjoy a hand-on process. I think that's important with artwork. But I like kind of using these tools that are sort of considered old fashioned or old style, or more traditional, but to address contemporary issues, and sort of combining old and new techniques and ways of thinking.
Thank you so much for spending some time with us today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem.
Bye-bye.